Your Eminence, we're here. I'm talking to a cardinal of the Roman Catholic Church, and I may ask you what are the cardinal virtues, and question 136, why are they called cardinal virtues?
They are called cardinal virtues because they are the key virtues upon which all the other moral virtues depend. The word cardinal here has nothing to do with cardinals of the Catholic Church. Mm-hmm. These cardinal virtues are the virtues for everybody. Right. However, the word cardinal comes from the word in Latin, cardo, which means hinge. And in that sense, there's a relationship between them. The cardinal virtues are the virtues on which are like hinges for the other virtues. A little more explanation is necessary. A virtue is a good habit, which we acquire by repeated good action. One action alone is not enough to form a habit. It is when we repeat that good action many times, then we acquire that ease in doing the action. A good action then, it becomes a good repeated action which gives us facility. So, in short, virtue, right. Good habit.
Now, the vice is just the opposite, isn't it?
Yes, vice is bad action, repeated. And for some bad actions, a few repetitions would be enough to get the habit. Because you know, going down the hill is always easier than going up. A little more effort is needed to go up than to flow down the stream. So these four virtues, they are like foundation for the other good habits, the other moral virtues. By moral here, we mean question of right and wrong. And that can refer to any type of action here. When we say moral virtue, moral can mean right or wrong in saying the truth or not saying the truth. In this property is mine, the other one is not mine, I don't take it. If I take it, it's not morally correct. By moral there, we mean touching human conduct, right or wrong. I say that because when some hear immoral, they think only of the virtue of chastity. That's one virtue, but there are many other virtues. It's important, but there are many other virtues. All of them are moral. So these four then are the key to the others, so that if a person had them to a high degree, the person would have included also the other virtues like obedience, humility, chastity, honesty, forgiveness, patience. All of them are included.
Comes under that, right. Now prudence, the first one, what would be a deeper explanation of prudence?
Prudence is, in a way, the key to many others. Prudence is that wisdom to know what to do, to decide what is to be done, to be able to judge rightly and give things their true value. Wisdom, therefore, in a way. That's prudence.
Well, there's a spiritual prudence and a worldly prudence, isn't there? I mean, we have so often, if you take the life of John Bosco, in the eyes of the world, going into debt and all the other things that he did wasn't prudent in the eyes of the world. But in the spiritual realm it was.
Oh yes, because God has the supernatural way is different. A person who is worldly wise only calculates according to this world. For example, a person asks you to give him some money. You calculate, if I give away $1,000, I have $1,000 less, so I shall not give away.
Right.
But in the spiritual way, we think of charity, that this good action and the joy that person gets is worth more than $1,000. So I give, and I'm ready for that sacrifice. I'm ready to offer it. That's prudence. In the same way, we depend on divine providence. Sometimes we, as Christ told us, every hair of your head is numbered. Do not over-worry for tomorrow. God is looking after you. Spiritual prudence will teach us to be able to take a risk for God.
Yes, for God. That's the key, I guess.
For God.
Yes, right.
If two people marry,
Yes.
they make vows to commit themselves to one another for life. If a young man becomes a priest, or a brother, or a young woman becomes a sister, or a member of a lay association with vows or commitment, it is rather serious.
Yes.
Spiritual prudence will guide the person how to decide.
So the widow's mite, when we God talked twice in the gospel about the widow that gave everything, and from her need and not her surplus. So here we even have that. In the eyes of the world, it was very imprudent for her to give everything to the temple. But she did it for the Lord, and Jesus pointed to that to his apostles.
That is true. Or a young man comes out of the best universities in the country,
Yes.
holding top degrees, and he's offered job by some of the top oil companies and whatever attracts. But he wants to be a monk in a monastery.
That's right.
And so his friends say, you are not wise. You are just burying yourself in a monastery. You want to be a priest? No. You will be the general manager of this oil company. So prudence there comes in.
That's right.
And of course, there are other virtues. There is courage. They are related.
Right. Now we go into justice then. What would be a good explanation?
The virtue of justice helps us to give everyone what is due to that person. And first of all, to give God what is God's.
Okay.
We owe God everything, including our lives. So there it begins. But we often think more of justice with reference to our neighbor. To everyone, what is due to that person. I don't take what is due to another. It may be fair wages to another person. It may be property which I saw, and I know it is not mine. I should make an honest effort to find the owner. Justice. It may be I'm employed. I should do honest work for honest pay, and not simply ask for more pay and then do less work.
Yes.
So I'm cheating then. If I'm the employer, I should be fair. I should pay wages that would be sufficient for this person to maintain self and family reasonably, and so on. The virtue of justice guides us in all that.
Then we go on to fortitude, which is really a key virtue.
Strength, courage, spiritual courage, so that even when the going is hard, we do not give in on principles. If a thing is right, it is right. If it is wrong, it is wrong. Even if many people don't do it, or many people do it, the correctness of an action does not depend on how many people voted for it, or how popular that law is.
But that's so, today we really do take a consensus so often. We want to know what the survey is before we make a decision. And
Yeah,
this is what
people
we-
must distinguish between how many people voted for this man to be member of Congress. So this person collected plenty of votes.
Yeah.
Therefore, according to the laws of the country, he wins. But in mathematics, you don't ask the students, how many people got this answer? If the majority got that answer, then it becomes correct. And no, because the truth of a proposition does not depend on the dignity of those who propounded it, or on the number of those who thought it was so.
Right.
Because reality doesn't respect sincerity. Sincerity is good, but it must come and keep the appointment with reality, and not dodge it. Therefore, for example, I give examples. To tell a lie is wrong, even if many people tell lies. But it is not right. To cheat in business is wrong, even if many people actually cheat in business. A boy and a girl who intend to marry each other, if they go and have sexual relations behaving as husband and wife, then it is a sin, even if many of them de facto do so. But it is a sin.
Yes.
If a person is married or not married and associates with another woman as husband and wife, and society calls it love affair or friendship or whatever, the name does not really matter. Even if you got 99% of the people voting in favor, it is still a sin.
Yes.
So there we must distinguish. There then, spiritual courage comes in. That's why we have the martyrs. If it were not for courage, we wouldn't have one single martyr.
That's true.
Not one. Then people would deny, St. Justin would deny that Christ is God in order not to lose his life. Or Eliezer in the Old Testament would eat pork, which was forbidden to the Jews. But he refused because it was wrong.
It's amazing today, I think we have dry
So
martyrs.
principle,
That's
fortitude.
right. I think today we have that dry martyrdom because for a girl to remain a virgin in high school and in college takes great courage. And God is asking of this dry martyrdom of everyone here.
Yes, even if the lecturer says you're going to fail the exam unless you consent to what I say. If she's strong, she will hold on. This is not right.
Yes.
Therefore, I shall not do it.
Right.
If I fail the exam, it's bad, but it is not as big an evil. So that's fortitude.
Yes.
That's it.
And then temperance. Now that's well, prudence and temperance have to be close together, don't they?
They are. In a way, you can see in real life situation, the virtues
Yes.
associate with one another. But we are making intellectual distinctions here. So the concepts, the ideas are different. Temperance, therefore, is that virtue that helps us to keep moderation in the use of things,
Yes.
especially things that are pleasant. We are able to moderate. It may be food. We know when to say yes. Up to here, yes. Beyond here, no, I don't need it. It may be wine. It may be anything. It may be sleep. It may be cars. It may be houses. It may be the delight, man-woman relationship, sex, pleasure. In all those, then there are other criteria to come in, and the virtue of temperance moderates all that.
I think so.
If I see that this pen is nice, it's good. But I must also judge. It isn't only attractive as a pen. I must ask, is it my pen? So temperance, well, that would become honesty then, justice. But in this case then, for things that are pleasant, temperance helps us to judge.
So
This is right, this is not right. Up to this, yes. Beyond this, unreasonable.
Then if we start to go into mortifying ourselves or fasting or something like that, that would be a takeoff from temperance, I guess. We would mortify our senses and
Yes, it would be part temperance and part also prudence.
yes.
Because in fasting is good for the soul. However, there is another virtue called prudence.
Right, to make sure you don't go too
And
far.
if a person is going to do very hard physical work, he decides to eat nothing at all, then he has headache, and he's weak, and he's also nervous, and jittery, and backs at people.
Yes.
Then prudence comes in to say, well, more moderation will be needed now in
Yes.
what you eat or not eat.
Right.